My beloved child, something is now drawing near to you. It is not the result of the plans you once made, nor does it appear on any list of dreams you have written, nor within the limits of your imagination. None of your calculations could have reached it, for it was not born of human strength or the will of the flesh, but from the unchanging flow of my will, the will of the one who has written both the beginning and the end of all things. My child, you cannot measure what is coming by human reasoning, for it belongs to the mysteries of heaven. It is woven from threads that only I can see. The fragments you once thought were scattered, the losses you believed were meaningless, the turns you thought were wrong, all of them are quietly coming together into a tapestry you have never known. When the appointed time arrives, you will understand that every tear you shed, every prayer you whispered, every act of faithfulness unseen by others has been a brick I used to build the doorway that now opens to this wonder. This, my child, does not come to shake you, but to restore you. It does not come as a storm, but as a gentle breeze, brushing against a weary soul, whispering, "It is time." It is my intervention, silent yet powerful, arising when all your efforts reach their limits and I begin to act. For only when you let go can I fulfill what I have ordained. Often I must wait until your will ceases to struggle so that my grace may have room to enter. Then you will see an unseen hand rearranging everything, redirecting the currents, opening pathways you never imagined existed. Do not fear when what arrives looks nothing like what you prayed for. Do not be troubled when my voice sounds different from what you expected. There are blessings I wrap in the paper of adversity. There are miracles I hide within what seems like loss. You may not recognize them now, but one day when light shines upon the full picture, you will realize that every no from me was a protected yes, and every closed door was guiding you toward the threshold of new life. My child, open your heart wide, for what I am about to do cannot be confined by what you have known. It is not merely a change of circumstance, it is a transformation of being. I do not wish merely to give you something, I wish to make you become it. You asked for light, and I am making you a lamp. You asked for peace, and I am teaching you to become a bearer of peace to others. You asked for miracles, and I am turning your very life into a miracle that others will see. Beloved one, you are stepping into a land where your feet have never walked before. There is no map, no manual, only a lamp in your hand, and that lamp is faith. And faith does not illuminate the whole road. It gives just enough light for the next step in the dark. But take heart, for I go before you. Every step you take lands on ground I have already prepared. Every place you set your foot will bear my imprint, for I do not merely call you to go. I walk beside you with every breath you take. You do not need to understand everything. You only need to believe, for faith does not demand a plan, it requires obedience. When you obey, I do what surpasses comprehension. When you believe, I make the impossible possible. When you move forward, I cause the desert to bloom and even the wasteland to sing. Now, my child, do not look at what is lacking. Look toward the one who is coming. Do not ask when, but say yes. For what you are about to receive does not flow from calculation or design, but from the current of grace. It is not the reward of effort, but the gift of mercy. And when that grace touches your life, it will not merely change a chapter, it will rewrite your entire story with the hand of the one who created you. My beloved, I am working in realms your eyes cannot yet see, on frequencies your soul can only perceive through faith. You do not realize it, but in every seemingly still moment I am moving, arranging, shaping, clearing paths, and breathing new life into what you thought was dead. When you look around and see nothing changing, that is when I am doing the most, for my work begins in the unseen, and only when the appointed time comes will it be revealed in the light. I am touching the hidden corners you have never dared to reach. There are wounds you have forgotten, but I have not. There are fears you thought you had overcome, yet they still linger in the depths of your soul. I am placing my hand there gently, patiently, little by little. I heal not only the wounds you know, but also the fractures you have not noticed. For I do not only desire that you stand firm outwardly, but that your soul be whole within. You feel pain when I touch the places you want to hide, yet it is precisely there that my light must shine. You do not need to understand everything I do. There are things I deliberately hide from your sight, not because I wish to conceal them, but because I wish to preserve you. I withhold certain answers, so your faith may grow. I keep some doors closed, so you may learn to wait. I do not show you the full picture, for if you knew everything in advance, you would no longer need me. Every step I lead you through carries purpose, even if that purpose is known only to heaven. I know there are times you want me to explain, but my love does not always explain, it acts to protect. There are things you see as loss that are truly salvation. There are people you thought were destiny, yet they were but shadows passing through to help you recognize the light. There are opportunities you mourn, but I close those doors to keep your soul from slipping off the path I chose for you. You feel the sting of disappointment when a door does not open, but I see beyond twos. I see the abyss behind that door where if you entered you would lose yourself. I would rather let you ache for a moment than regret for a lifetime. True love does not give everything you want. It withholds what could wound you. When you feel I am delaying, I am truly shielding you from what you are not yet ready to receive. If I were to hand you what you pray for before your heart has depth enough to hold it, it would shatter like glass in your hands. I do not want you merely to receive a blessing. I want you to be strong enough to carry it. For a blessing without foundation becomes a burden. Many have fallen not because they lacked grace, but because they lacked the heart to sustain it. That is why I teach you to wait, not because I am slow, but because I am wise. You often ask me why, but if you knew every reason, faith would no longer be necessary. Faith is born in moments of not knowing. It matures in days of my silence and grows strong in hours when you think I am absent. It is in those very moments when you hear nothing that I speak most clearly, not through words, but through stillness, through the unseen arrangements you have yet to notice. My child, I have never left you in emptiness. Every delay has meaning. Every silence has a voice. When I close a door, it is not to confine you, but to prepare you to cross a higher, stronger threshold. You see the surface, but I see the roots. You care about results, but I care about your heart. There are things I withhold because they would draw you away from me. I want you to have true joy, not fleeting happiness. I have been training you even when you did not realize it. Each time you fell yet rose again, I was forging endurance within your soul. Each time you chose forgiveness, I was shaping your heart after mine. Each time you chose to believe, though you could not see, your faith was being refined like pure gold. You are not abandoned in the wilderness. You are being tempered in the fire, so that when the season comes, you will shine not by your own strength, but by my glory reflected through you. And when you look back, you will understand why I arranged everything in my own way. You will see that every turn, every pause, every no I spoke contained within it a deeper yes. You will realize that the days you thought were meaningless were the very days I was laying foundations for the eternal. I have not missed a single detail of your life. Even your briefest breath is counted by me. You need only to keep walking, even when you cannot see, for it is in walking through the unknown that your faith shines brightest. I am working in silence, yet the outcome will resound loudly. You will see every fragment that once slipped through your hands suddenly fit together perfectly. You will realize that what you thought was delayed was in truth precisely timed. For I do not work according to your schedule, but according to the seasons of heaven. When that moment arrives, everything will align, every door will open on its own, and you will know the Lord has done this. Therefore, my child, do not fear the waiting. Do not doubt what you cannot yet see. For within heaven's delays there is always hidden grace. You do not need to see in order to believe. You need only believe in order to see. Let your heart rest in, my guidance for all that I do is woven with love that never misses its mark. And when you stop trying to control, you will realize that my hand has never let go. I am arranging things beyond your sight, reaching into places you do not even know need healing. I am mending wounds you do not realize you carry. Everything is unfolding within my divine order, an order beyond human understanding, yet perfect in heaven's timing. And when it is complete, you will understand, not a single moment was wasted, not a single path was wrong, not a single closed door was without purpose. All of it is part of my loving design for you, a plan not merely for your survival, but for your restoration, your wholeness, and your becoming a reflection of my glory. My beloved, I do not pour out grace when you demand it, but when your soul has grown quiet enough to receive it. Just as the river overflows only when the earth yields, I pour forth the new, only when your heart humbles itself. I stir the flow of life within you when the old soil of pride and fear is stripped away, so that I may sow new seeds into the ground I have renewed. As a seed must crack before it can sprout, you too must allow me to break what is old, so that new life may flow forth. When that appointed moment comes, I will do what you never expected, not what you imagined, not according to the plans you once wrote, but in rhythm with heaven's pulse, where every design of mine surpasses your comprehension. What I have prepared will not come from the people you anticipate, nor from the path you are walking, but will emerge from the places you once overlooked. I will astonish you through events that seem insignificant, speak through voices you once dismissed, and reveal my glory through moments you thought held no meaning. And when it happens, you will know not with your intellect, but with your spirit that it is I who am moving. You will sense my presence in what seems like ordinary moments. A meeting, a glance, a word spoken in passing, all will bear my fingerprints. When you feel a strange peace, even though nothing has changed, it is the sign that I am with you. That peace is not something you produce. It is my breath upon your soul. My child, learn to recognize me not only in grand miracles, but in the simplest of things. For I am not only the Lord of the mighty wind, but also the whisper as soft as dew upon the leaves. You once believed I appeared only in moments of splendor, but no, I am present in the quiet drops of sweat, in the weary gaze of the midnight hour, in the broken breaths of a faltering prayer. I am there even when you think nothing is happening, for in the stillness of the present, I am weaving the future. Every slow step you take, every pause in your journey, is being counted into the great symphony of your destiny. My child, do not confine me within old patterns. I am not bound by the ways you have seen me work before. If once I led my people through the sea, now I can lead you through the desert with a pillar of faith. If in the past I spoke through thunder, today I can speak through the gentle breath of peace. Be ready to recognize me in the unfamiliar. I am the one who never repeats myself, yet I am always perfect in every revelation. You may feel confused when I change the way I come to you. But my child, it is because I am drawing you into a deeper communion. I do not want you to seek me only within familiar patterns. I want you to learn to recognize me in all things. You once heard me in the songs of the morning, but now I may speak through the stillness of the night. You once felt me in your tears, but now I may let you sense me in a quiet smile. Do not limit me to how I have appeared before, for I am ever new, ever moving, ever unfolding things beyond your imagination. My child, what I am about to do will astonish you, yet it will be the astonishment of a soul stepping into fullness. I will break down what is temporary, so that you may be built upon what is unshakable. I will take away what you thought indispensable to give you what you truly need. I will remove those you believed were your anchors, so that you may learn to lean only on me. and then you will understand that every loss carries a hidden grace. Do not fear when the world around you shifts, for I do not change. Do not panic when what is familiar crumbles, for I remain the foundation that cannot be moved. I do not desire your attachment to methods, but your dependence upon the Creator. If you seek me only when things go according to your plans, you will know me merely as a wish granter. But when you still believe, though nothing unfolds as you hoped, that is when you truly know me as the one who loves, who reigns, who governs, even when you do not understand. My child, faith is not born in calm waters. It is formed in the whirlwinds of doubt and grows when you choose trust over fear. You will see me most clearly, not when you comprehend everything, but when you surrender everything. When you stop asking why and begin to say, yes, the door of miracles will open. I will not tell you beforehand what I am about to do, for if I did, you would rely on the word instead of me. I want you to learn to believe without proof, so that when the wonder arrives, you will know it was not by your skill, but by my hand. Now, my child, I speak into the depths of your soul. Prepare yourself. Keep your heart tender and your ears attentive, for I am about to breathe new life into your journey. What you thought had ended, I will rewrite. The dreams you believed extinguished, I will rekindle. The doors you assumed were sealed forever. I will open not by force, but through surrender. You will not need to knock, for at the appointed time I, myself, will open them. And when that moment comes, you will no longer doubt that it is I who act, for the peace within you will surpass all understanding. Your mind may not yet grasp it, but your spirit will know. You will stand amid unfamiliar things and still feel secure. You will walk through change and remain unmoved, for I am walking with you, speaking through you, and living within you. Believe this, my beloved child, that what is coming bears the eternal imprint of heaven. It will not only transform your path, but will transform you into a living testimony of my power and my mercy. Therefore, receive this new season not with anxiety, but with gratitude. Let your soul open wide like the earth welcoming a rushing river. Believe that even when my ways appear unfamiliar, they remain perfect. For I am the one who is never late, never mistaken, and never forgets a single detail in your life. You only need to keep a humble heart, a listening ear, and a spirit tender before me. Then you will see all that I have ever promised will be fulfilled, not in the way you imagined, but in heaven's way, in the way of love. My beloved, do not confine me within the frame of the past. Do not let old experiences blur your perception of what I am doing today. I do not repeat myself, for my love never runs dry, and my ideas never overlap. Every season I unfold carries a new language, a new expression, and a beauty that cannot be compared. You are stepping into a time where old boundaries will no longer fit, and what once worked will no longer serve as the pattern for the present. I am doing something entirely new, and it is sprouting right in the midst of your life, even in the places you thought were barren. My child, I am not trapped in what once was. I am the creator, not a copier. Every act of mine bears the mark of creation and resurrection. If you keep looking backward, you will not recognize what is blooming before you. If you search for me in old forms, you will miss me in the new ones. Let your eyes be opened, and let your soul expand. For what I am doing is not merely a continuation, it is a new beginning, where the worn is replaced with the fresh, and where ashes are exchanged for the radiant glow of a spiritual dawn. I know you have grown accustomed to the way I used to move, the signs, the patterns, the methods that once made you feel safe. But my child, your safety is not found in patterns, it is found in me. When you trust in me, you can walk upon the waters and not sink, for I am the solid foundation beneath your feet. If your faith rests only in the method, you will be shaken when the method changes. But if your trust is in the one who commands the method, you will remain at peace amid every shift. You often expect blessings to come in familiar forms, things you can predict, control, and recognize at once. Yet my true blessings do not come to satisfy your expectations, but to enlarge you. They do not arrive to make you comfortable, but to mature your soul. At times I bless by adding, and at other times by taking away. Sometimes I open doors, and sometimes I close them. Every act of mine, whether you understand it or not, is woven from the same thread, unchanging love. Therefore, my child, do not measure the worth of a blessing by its outward appearance, but by the peace it brings to your heart. I know there are moments when you feel confused, because what I do does not resemble what you hoped for. You quietly ask, Lord, are you truly working? Why can't I see it? But I tell you this, my work is not always loud, nor is it always visible. A tree grows without a sound, yet it rises day by day. A seed sprouts in darkness, yet soon it will break through the soil and reach toward the light. So it is with what I am doing in your life. It is unfolding quietly, not to make you doubt, but to teach you to trust without seeing. Do not confine me to the way you think blessings should come. You may desire what is good, but I prepare what is perfect. You wait for the right time, yet I act in the hour of heaven. You measure time by human calendars, but I measure it by the progress of the soul. What you call delay, I call perfect timing. What you call loss, I call formation. When you learn to release, you will see that everything I do unfolds in its appointed season, and not a single moment is wasted in my design. My child, allow me to rewrite the meaning of blessing within your heart. Blessing is not only when everything goes well, but when your heart remains at peace amid adversity. Blessing is not only in receiving what you long for, but in learning the lesson I intend to teach. True blessing is not found in outcomes alone, but in the journey where I walk beside you. Let me reshape your perception of success, for sometimes my success is when you learn to love in pain, and my victory is when you choose forgiveness over retaliation. My child, learn to trust me in this new movement. Do not cling to what is familiar, for I am changing the rhythm. I no longer want you to walk to the beat of fear, but to the rhythm of faith. I am pulling you out of your comfort zone, so that you may know what it truly means to live in dependence upon me. Everything you once relied on, your understanding, your ability, your experience, will no longer suffice. Only faith and absolute trust will carry you through. But fear not, for I am already in the new place into which you are stepping. You may feel disoriented, for everything around you is shifting. But remember, you do not have to hold the future, for my hand already holds it. You only need to obey one step at a time, and I will give you enough light to see the path before you. I do not require you to know all things. I only ask that you believe that I do. That is the essence of faith, to walk without seeing, yet to know the one who leads will never lead you astray. Therefore, loosen your rigid expectations. Allow me to repaint the picture of your life with the colors of divine intention. You have grown accustomed to the old palette, the tones, the rhythm, the structure, but now I am painting anew. Every stroke is placed with purpose, every pause holds meaning. If you insist on holding the brush, the painting will remain unfinished. But if you place it in my hands, I will craft a masterpiece. And when the new thing is complete, you will marvel. You will say, I never imagined it could happen this way. You will see that I did not merely give you something good, but the very best at the right time, in the right way, and according to my will. You will understand that true blessing does not lie in having things your way, but in knowing that I am always working, even when you cannot perceive it. My child, prepare your heart for this new season. Do not look back, for the past cannot compare to what I am doing now. Let go of what has been, so your hands may be light enough to receive what I have prepared. Believe that everything I do bears the mark of eternal wisdom. When I act, nothing is random. When I touch, nothing is wasted. And when I give, nothing is partial. Every gift from me is wrapped in love, sent at the appointed hour, and delivered with perfect intent. My beloved, step into this new thing with confidence. Do not fear difference. Do not fear change. What I am doing today may not resemble yesterday, yet it flows from the same heart that loves you with an unchanging love. You do not need to understand everything, just trust that I am always doing better than you expect. And one day when you look back, you will see that everything, no matter how strange or difficult, was a perfect piece of the grand design I made for you. For I, the Lord your God, do not merely do what is good, I do what is complete in the exact time I have ordained. My beloved child, I know that waiting has become a song that repeats itself within your heart. Those moonless nights, the prayers that seemed to fall into silence, the tears that soaked your pillow unseen, none of it was meaningless. You thought I was silent, but every tear you shed has risen like a sacred melody in the heavens. There is not a single sigh I do not hear, nor a single pain I do not know. Upon my hand every tear is counted, every cry preserved like incense drifting toward the throne of grace. You are not alone in the night. I am there quietly seated beside your bed, keeping watch over your weary heart. I know the days when you try to smile while your heart is breaking. I know the mornings when you rise not out of hope but out of duty. Yet even then, my child, I am still there. In every breath you take that feels like mere habit, I walk with you through every barren valley, every nameless storm, every hesitant step along the path no one else understands. You may not see me, but I am guiding you. You may not hear my voice, but I am speaking through that faint peace still flickering within your heart. That silence is how I hold you gently, not through words, but through my presence itself. Do not think I stand apart from your pain. I do not watch from a distance like a stranger. I am in it, in the very waves of sorrow that crash against your soul. When you weep, I weep with you. When you tremble, I take your hand, though you may not realize it. I never promised that you would not be hurt, but I did promise that no pain would be wasted if you walk with me. Every sorrow, when placed in my hands, becomes a tool for transformation. I do not erase pain. I turn it into strength. I do not remove the memories. I sanctify them so they no longer imprison you, but become witnesses of my grace. My child, the wounds you carry are not signs of defeat. They are proof that you have fought, that you have loved, that you have believed. I will not let them remain as scars alone. I will turn them into mosaics reflecting my light. Only souls that have been broken can truly understand the value of healing. You will see the very place where you bled will become the ground where new life grows. From your pain, grace will rise strong and pure, like dawn breaking after the storm. Suffering in my hands is never in vain. It carries a purpose, a silent mission. I use it to awaken the deepest part of you, the place where faith is refined, where your heart learns to bow and to open. I allow trials not to destroy, but to build. I allow you to fall not to shatter, but to teach you to rise with strength that comes from me. I let you walk through loneliness, not to lead you into despair, but to help you discover that I alone am enough. There are walls you have built around your soul out of fear, out of pain, out of the dread of losing once more. But my child, those very walls also keep my grace from entering. So I send the winds to blow. I allow the shaking to come so that those walls may fall. Painful, yes, I know. But in that very breaking you will see that I came not to destroy but to rebuild. You will see my hand not only tearing down but planting anew. I uproot the roots of fear and plant the roots of faith. Pain will no longer be your burden. It will become your foundation. From the places once torn apart, you will rise stronger, steadier, and radiant in light. You once asked me to take away your pain, but I chose instead to walk with you through it. For if I removed it too soon, you would lose the lesson that only pain can teach. You would never know how strong your endurance truly is until you must stand in the midst of the storm. You would not understand what true peace feels like until you have faced your deepest panic. And you would never know my faithfulness if your life were only filled with ease. It is only in hardship that faith is formed. It is only through tears that you learn what true surrender means. My child, I do not ask you to be strong. I only ask you to be honest. You may be weak as long as you are weak in my hands. You may cry as long as you cry in my embrace. You may fall as long as you fall into my arms. For I do not seek the perfect ones, I seek the ones who dare to be real. That sincerity is the fertile ground where grace takes root. And from the very place where you once collapsed, I will raise you up with the same power that once created the universe. When you surrender your pain to me, I will turn it into oil, into light, into testimony. The place where you were once wounded will become the place where others find comfort. You will know how to touch another's heart with the gentleness that only the broken can understand. That is how I turn sorrow into mission scars, into lamps, and memories into witness. I do not heal you merely so that you may live in peace, but so that you may become a source of peace for others. You may not yet see it, but every season of trial is building you into a spiritual structure that cannot be shaken. Today's endurance is tomorrow's foundation. Every cry, every tear, every moment you refuse to give up, all of it is engraving your name upon the stone of faith. When the storm passes, you will stand in the dawn of my light and realize that it was not the tempest that triumphed, but your faith that matured. You will see that you are no longer who you once were. I have been changing you through every crack, every tear, every trembling prayer, and when you look at yourself again, you will see where you once were broken, now you shine. Therefore, my child, do not despise the heavy moments. Do not think that I have forgotten. While you are waiting, I am working. While you are hurting, I am shaping. While you are weeping, I am weaving a miracle. Suffering in my hands is never punishment. It is the fire that refines gold, the soft soil where seeds of faith take root. And when the new season comes, you will understand not one tear was wasted, not one night in darkness was in vain. Everything you endured was forming the person I destined you to be, resilient, purified, and radiant with my light. My beloved child, hold this as a promise: there is no pain I cannot turn into blessing, no tear I cannot transform into joy, no loss I cannot use to open a greater door. Let me rewrite your story, not with the ink of sorrow, but with the pearls of faith formed in the depths of wounding, yet shining with the light of heaven. For I, the one who began this good work in you, will be faithful to complete it. And on the day you lift your head, you will no longer see yourself as one who fell, but as one who has been restored in my glory. My dear one, you are no longer who you were at the beginning. This journey has transformed you in ways you have yet to recognize. Every trial, every tear, every time you fell and rose again has quietly etched strength, faith, and spiritual maturity upon your soul. You have walked through territories where only the faithful dare to tread. You have passed through nights where only grace could keep you from collapsing. And now you stand at a new threshold, not an end, but the beginning of something deeper. What is happening within you is not random. It is part of the miracle still being written. Can you feel the trembling, my child? Do you hear those faint echoes within your soul, as if something inside you is melting away, shifting, being rearranged? Do not be afraid. This is not collapse, it is the reordering of heaven. When I begin to renew a life, I first stir the old foundations. I am not destroying you. I am dismantling what is no longer needed. There are stones that once supported the former season, but in the new one they have become obstacles. I am replacing them with stronger stones, ones refined by fire, forged through tears, and set precisely in place by my own hand. What you perceive as loss is in truth purification. What looks like chaos is actually order being rewritten. I am removing from your life what once served you, but has now become a weight. There are relationships, habits, and even thoughts you once clung to as shelter, But now I am moving them aside, not because they are evil, but because you have outgrown them. A garment that once fit perfectly can become restrictive when you mature. Likewise, what once nourished you in a previous season may now hinder your progress in the new one. I must remove these things so you may walk freely into what is greater. And I know this makes you uncomfortable. No one likes to be unsettled. No one enjoys seeing their familiar world shift. You will find yourself wanting to hold on to what is safe, the old patterns, the familiar faces, the ways you learned to survive. But my child, understand this clinging to what is old is the quickest way to miss what is new. I am opening a new chapter, and that requires you to let go of the pages already written. Allow me to continue the story with my own hand, even when you cannot yet see how this chapter will end. Do not resist my hand, beloved one. Do not try to preserve the old order while I am rebuilding your life brick by brick. I do not come to take away, but to replace. I do not come to wound, but to set free. There are things you have held onto for too long, a fear, a memory, a wound you have avoided, and now I must open your hands. You will feel empty for a moment, but only for a moment, for I never leave your hands empty for long. When you release what you've been holding, I will place in them something better, not what you desire, but what you truly need. This shaking, my child, is the proof that I am at work. The soil must be tilled before the seed can be sown. The old must be removed before the new foundation can be built. The sounds you hear, the cracks, the breaking, the shifting, are the rhythm of creation continuing. I am touching depths within you where no one has ever gone. I am healing the wounds you've hidden, aligning the crooked lines of your heart and making straight what pain has distorted. And yes, it will hurt, but it is the pain of healing, not the pain of loss. There are parts of you that have learned to live with fear, so when I touch them, they tremble. There are places within you that have been closed for too long, so when I open them, you feel exposed. But my child, no light can enter unless the door of your heart is opened. I am leading you out of your comfort zone, not to harm you, but to show you that true safety exists only in me. My hand never forces, but it is strong enough to guide you through the storm without letting you go astray. You may not understand why I have to stir everything up. You may think things were fine. Why would God change it all? But my child, I did not call you to be fine. I called you to live. And to live in me means to be continually renewed, molded, and transformed from one glory to another. Every shift within you is a sign that you are still alive, still growing, still moving closer to the purpose I have placed within you. Do not see this shaking as an earthquake, but as the heartbeat of a new season. I am clearing away the old to make room for what is fresh. Like a potter shaping clay, I must press, squeeze, turn, and mold. You may feel stretched and pressed on every side, but trust me, I do not press to break, I press to form. And when that form is complete, you will look into the mirror and recognize a miracle. It was the very pain that shaped your beauty. My child, you are no longer who you once were. You have learned to stand firm, to believe, to love, and to wait. But now I am teaching you something greater, the art of surrender. Surrender is not giving up. It is handing over the control to the one who knows all things. Surrender says, I don't understand, but I still believe. I don't see, but I still walk. I'm uncertain, but I still hold your hand. And in that surrender, you will find peace, not the kind the world gives, but the peace that comes from knowing I am working in all things. Do not resist my hand, beloved. My hand bears your name engraved upon it. I would never do anything to erase you. I only long to bring you back into the image I designed from the beginning. I do not come to destroy, but to restore. Not to take away, but to give back in perfection. Believe that every shaking is the beginning of stability. Every breaking is the pathway toward a firmer foundation. Therefore, my child, do not fear what is changing. The change itself is the answer to your deepest prayers. You asked for freedom, I am breaking the chains. You asked for growth, I am pruning the branches. You asked to draw nearer to me. I am removing what blocks your view of my light. Let me do my part and keep your heart tender to receive. When the shaking is over, you will find you have not been destroyed. You have been reborn. You have not been lost. You have been reshaped. You will no longer tremble. You will stand firm in unshakable faith. Beloved, what you see as loss is simply my way of clearing the path for what is to come. You see emptiness, but I see space being made. You weep over closed doors, but I smile, for behind that door lies a path to an entirely new chapter. What you call an ending, I call a beginning. Do not let your tears blur your vision. Do not let regret pull you back to what I have already freed you from. Leave what is past behind, for I am writing a new chapter, one you can only enter when your hands no longer cling to old fragments. Trust me, my child, in this season of transition, even when everything around you feels uncertain. You may feel caught between two shores. The old has faded, but the new has yet to appear. This is the land of faith where you walk not by sight but by my word. Do not fear the obscurity of this stage. It is not emptiness, but preparation. Just as a seed must hide in the dark soil before rising beneath the morning light, you too are being hidden in my hands to be restored, renewed, and readied for something greater. You think I have taken away, but in truth I am removing what no longer serves your purpose. I am emptying your hands of the small so that I may place in them what is great. Everything I remove I replace with something of eternal worth. Do not fix your eyes on what has disappeared. Look instead to the one who remains me. For when you have me, you have lost nothing. I am the foundation, the portion that can never be taken away. What seems to be falling apart is merely the old frame being dismantled so that I can build a stronger house, one founded on faith, not fear, on hope, not regret. Do not look back, my child. Do not be like Lot's wife, who turned into a pillar of salt because she could not take her eyes off what was behind her. Remember, the past may be where you learned, but it is not where you are meant to remain. I have not called you to dwell in nostalgia, but to step into the radiant present I am unfolding before you. You cannot behold the dawn if your gaze is fixed on the night. Let your eyes face forward toward the light of my promise that awaits you. Faith is the step that moves toward what is unseen, yet certain that I have already gone before you. My child, you will walk through doors that were once closed, not because you are strong enough, but because my hand opens them. I have gone ahead of you, unbolting the locks, breaking through the barriers you once thought insurmountable. You will step into spaces that once existed only in dreams, and when you do, you will realize that it was not luck that brought you there, but grace. The places that once rejected you, I will bring you into as one who is chosen. The opportunities you thought were lost, I will replace with greater doors leading you to the land where you truly belong. You will sit in rooms where you once believed you would never be invited, and as you sit there, I will remind you, if it had not been the Lord, you would not be here. Not to make you proud, but to make you aware that my grace surpasses every human limitation. You do not need to knock with fear, for I am the one already inside, opening the door for you. You do not need to fight for a seat, for I have already reserved your place within my plan. And when you sit down, you will feel what the world cannot offer, a deep peace unshaken by circumstance. You will speak words that you once feared to utter. I will put in your mouth words of power and love, replacing the trembling voice of doubt. You once stayed silent for fear of being misunderstood, rejected, or hurt. But now I will make your voice sound like the tone of healing. Your words will no longer carry the echo of pain, but the resonance of one who has been restored. When you speak, others will hear me in you. When you raise your voice, darkness will retreat, for I will speak through you just as I spoke through the prophets of old. You will no longer speak by your own strength, but by the breath of the Holy Spirit. And my child, you will carry a peace that defies the conditions around you. While the world is in turmoil, your heart will remain still like calm waters reflecting the heavens. That peace will not come because everything is smooth, but because you know that even if storms arise, you are in my boat. I do not promise that the waves will stop immediately, but I promise you will not sink. True peace does not come from control, but from being held. And as you carry this peace, you will become a refuge for others. They will find rest near you because you carry the atmosphere of heaven within. You will also love with a heart completely healed. You will no longer love out of fear of losing, but because you know where true love comes from. The old wounds that once made you cautious and withdrawn will now stand as testimonies of my mercy. I will teach you to love without conditions, to love without fear of pain, to love as I have loved you, with patience, with grace, and without self-seeking. Your heart will beat in rhythm with mine, and from that you will know what true freedom is. Freedom to love, to forgive, to live, and to shine. My child, do not fear stepping into the new. Let me complete what I have begun in you. I have never started anything I did not intend to finish. My faithfulness does not depend on your emotions. Even when you are weak, I am strong. Even when you doubt, my promises remain steadfast. I will keep working, even when you are weary, for my love does not stop when you pause. I am the beginning and the finisher. Everything I do has its appointed time, and that time is always perfect. Therefore, my child, stand firm in faith. Step forward with courage, for what awaits you ahead is not random chance, but the fulfillment of a divine plan prepared long before you were born. Do not fear change, for it is within change that eternity reveals itself. Do not grieve over what has left you, for those things departed, only to make room for what truly belongs to you. And as you move forward, know this: you do not walk alone. I go before you, beside you, and within you. My beloved, I am doing something that goes far beyond your imagination. The years you thought were wasted, the seasons filled with sorrow, weariness, and desolation, are now being redeemed by my hand. I have not allowed your time to dissolve into nothingness. Every tear, every sleepless night, every trembling prayer uttered in desperation has been gathered into my hands. Not a single moment of your life is meaningless, for I am the one who turns what seemed wasted into the soil of a new harvest. Even in the ashes where you thought nothing could grow, I am quietly sowing new seeds. I am redeeming those years, not by merely giving back what was lost, but by making all things new. I am not taking you back to the starting point. I am continuing your story with a depth that only those who have suffered can understand. You have walked through the desert, and it was there that I trained you. You have endured nights that felt endless, and it was in that darkness that I taught you to see the light. You thought you were losing time, but in truth you were being reshaped. You thought you were slowing down, but you were being prepared. Everything I allowed to happen carried a purpose of restoration, not destruction. My child, I am restoring the joy you thought had died. There are smiles you once lost, dreams you buried beneath the dust of reality, and hopes you laid down because you were afraid to be disappointed again. I am breathing life into them all. This joy is not the fragile joy of the world, but the joy born of my spirit. It does not come from circumstances, but from my presence within you. You will laugh again, not because everything is perfect, but because you will know that in all things, both good and bad, I am working for your good. My true joy does not depend on outer peace, but flows from inner stillness. I know there are parts of you buried beneath layers of doubt and pain. There are dreams that once burned brightly, but faded in the wind of uncertainty. There are gifts I placed in you that you never dared to use because you believed you were no longer worthy, or because others convinced you that you were not enough. But my child, I have never withdrawn what I have planted within you. The talent I gave you is still there. The flame you once carried is still there, only covered in the dust of time. Now I am breathing new life into those embers. I am awakening what I sowed in you from the beginning, the flame of life, of faith, of courage, and of the calling you were born to fulfill. My beloved, I am not merely giving back what you lost, for if I only returned what was taken, I would not be the Redeemer, only a restorer, but I am the one who makes all things new. When I restore, I do not bring you back to where you were. I lead you to where you have never dared to dream. I do not only give what you have asked for, I give what you never knew you could receive. For what I give always exceeds expectation, and my blessings always bear eternal value. You once thought I was silent through all those long years, but I was working in the quiet. You thought the winding roads were dead ends, but they were detours protecting you from unseen danger. You resented the doors that closed, yet if I had not shut them, you would have lost yourself. Now as you look back, you will see that every moment that made you weep bore my fingerprints, not to wound you, but to make you steadfast. I used pain to engrave faith upon your heart, and failure to forge endurance in your soul. I am reviving what you thought was dead. Like a barren tree blossoming when touched by the first rain of the season, so too will your life bloom again in ways you could not imagine. You may not yet see the change, but beneath the surface of your soul I am at work. Each day I am rekindling hope, repairing the worn threads of faith, and aligning your heart with heaven's rhythm. My child, you are no longer the one who fell. You are being reborn in grace. I will not merely restore what was lost, for the old can no longer contain what I am about to pour into this new season. I will give you something better, deeper, and more enduring. You once loved with tenderness. Now you shall love with wisdom. You once believed through emotion. Now you shall believe through revelation. You once served within your limits. Now you shall walk in my strength. I will not just return you to where you once belonged, but I will place you in the position I destined for you, the place prepared before you were born. My child, believe that nothing in your past has been wasted. Every tear, every mistake, every detour has been used by me to create something beautiful. You thought you had gone in circles, but in truth you were walking the winding path I drew to protect you from the pit. You thought you were starting over, but in reality you were beginning again from a stronger foundation. I do not erase your history, I use it to write a new victory. For I am the one who turned the cross into the symbol of glory, and I will also turn your wounds into the evidence of resurrection. I am giving you far more than you ever asked for, not because you deserve it, but because I am love. You asked for a drop, and I am giving you a river. You asked for light, and I am unveiling a dawn. You asked merely to survive, but I am giving you abundant life. You asked for one miracle, but I am making your whole life a miracle. You thought I only wanted to heal your wound, but in truth I want to use that very wound to radiate my glory. So my child, open your heart and receive. Do not fear the new simply because it differs from the old. Do not fear the return of joy just because you once lost it. When I restore you, do not need to fear losing again. What I give, no one can take away. Everything I restore carries the seal of my eternity. And one day when you look back, you will see that the years you thought were lost were actually the very ground where I sowed the seeds of grace. Therefore, my beloved one, lift up your head. The season of mourning has passed. The season of rejoicing is here. What once died within you is breathing again. What once broke is being mended. What once lay barren is blooming anew. I am the one who makes all things new, not only redeeming the past, but unfolding the future. What is coming will be better, deeper, and more beautiful than you ever imagined. For I who began a good work in you will be faithful to complete it until you become a living testimony of my boundless mercy. My beloved, do not look around and compare yourself with others, for your journey is unlike anyone else's. Every soul is woven by my hand with its own thread, its own color, rhythm, and purpose. When you look at another's life and ask, why have they arrived while I am still here? You forget that I do not measure by speed, but by obedience. You are not delayed. You are not left behind. You are simply being led along the path uniquely designed for you, a path only your feet can walk and only your heart can understand. Do not let another's light make you question the flame I am kindling within you. Each lamp is lit at a different time, for I alone know when the surrounding darkness is deep enough for its light to shine most brightly. If you have not yet been revealed, it is not because you are lacking, but because I am still forming you. You are not forgotten, you are being preserved. Just as a seed must remain hidden in the soil before it breaks through, so too are you in the quiet process where I am deepening your roots. There is nothing wrong with not seeing flowers yet, for I am still nourishing your foundations. I know there are days when you feel unseen, as though the world has passed you by, as though your efforts have gone unnoticed. But my child, what I am shaping in secret will one day echo in the open. I hide what I treasure most. I cover what I am refining with the delicacy of my hand. I do not bring the gem into the light while it is still uncut. I place it in hiddenness, so that time and pressure can smooth its edges, allowing its beauty to reflect perfectly when the appointed hour arrives. You are in that very process, a season of shaping, purifying, and refining. Do not see it as punishment. See it as privilege. Embrace the fire, for it does not come to destroy you but to refine you. I am the refiner, and you are precious metal in my hands. The fire I allow does not burn away your true worth. It only consumes the rust of fear, doubt, and pride. The pain you feel is not destruction, it is birth. I am softening your heart so it may reflect my love more completely. This fire will teach you patience, humility, and endurance qualities no easy soil can produce. And when the fire finishes its work, you will rise brighter, stronger, and freer than ever before. My child, do not be afraid of the silence. In the stillness, I am whispering words only your heart can hear. In the slowing down, I am aligning the rhythm of your heart with the cadence of heaven. You are not late. Every step you take is precisely measured by divine timing. When you see others moving ahead, remember that your journey was not designed to be faster but deeper. I do not want you to arrive early and run dry. I want you to arrive at the appointed time with a soul matured, a faith strengthened, and a heart prepared to carry something greater. I am working within you in ways unseen. When you think you are standing still, you are actually being shaped. When you feel hidden, it is my protection shielding you from eyes that might wound you. If I were to reveal you too soon, you could be swayed by praise or crushed by judgment. Yet in the hidden place, you are learning to stand by my strength alone, not by human approval. Today's obscurity is the foundation of tomorrow's unveiling. So let me continue my work, beloved. Let the fire complete its process even when it makes you uncomfortable. No metal is formed without heat. No flower releases fragrance without enduring the storm. In the same way, you cannot step into the fullness of your calling without being refined in solitude. Do you not see that in every pruning I am preparing you to bear more fruit? The pain is temporary, but the harvest is eternal. The dreams I placed within your heart have not died. They are not forgotten, only resting beneath the ashes of trial. I never allow your dreams to fade away, for I am the one who planted them. When the time comes, I will call them forth as I once called Lazarus from the grave. What you thought was over will breathe again. The promises you thought were delayed will blossom anew. You will see that every waiting had a reason, for I breathe life only in the right season. Do not think I have forgotten your dreams, my child. I am the one who placed them in your heart, not to tease you, but to teach you to trust. You have asked me to fulfill them, But before I do, I must prepare you to carry them. The dream is great, but the heart must be strong. The calling runs deep, but faith must stand firm. You cannot wear the crown of light until your shoulders have been strengthened in the dark. That is why I let you wait, not to weary you, but to mature you in patience. When the appointed time arrives, I will call your name. I will open doors no man can shut. The dreams that once slept within you will awaken like dawn breaking through the night. You will see every promise fulfilled, not in haste, but in wholeness. The years you thought were lost will become the firm ground beneath your feet. Then you will understand why I kept you hidden so long, not merely to make you known, but to reveal you in my glory. Rest in my hands, beloved. Trust that this process is not leading you astray, but bringing you home to where you truly belong. Even when you do not understand, know that I do. Even when all seems tangled, I am weaving a masterpiece of perfection. Every thread, dark or bright, is placed by intention. When I am finished, you will look back and see that everything I have done was beautiful. Therefore, do not fear the fire. Do not fear the hidden season. Do not fear delay. These are the signs that you are being loved, molded, and prepared for something far greater than yourself. Let faith keep you still, for what I have begun I will finish. And one day when you are revealed, you will see not only your dreams revived, you will see that you yourself have become new, strong, and complete in my image. My beloved child, do not let fear be the loudest voice within you. Do not let it drown out the whisper of faith. Fear will try to convince you that you are alone, that you must fight by yourself, that no one understands. But my child, fear is an illusion. It holds power only when you listen to it more than to me. Remember, I have never taken my eyes off you, even when you tremble. Fear is but a shadow. I am the light. The moment you turn your gaze toward me, the darkness must fade. You were not created to live bound, but to walk in freedom. And true freedom does not come from control, it comes from trust. Do not let anxiety take control of your mind. It is a cruel master that constantly makes you doubt what I have already promised. Anxiety drives you to run ahead of me, to demand the outcome before you take the first step. But faith teaches you to move forward even when you cannot see. You cannot worry and trust at the same time. One must die for the other to live. My child, let faith win. Let faith steer the ship, not anxiety. For anxiety drains your strength, but faith gives you peace. When you learn to pause, take a deep breath and say, Lord, I don't know, but I trust that you do. In that very moment, my power is released. My peace does not come after the storm is over. It comes when you choose to trust me in the middle of it. Do not let disappointment harden your heart. I know you have believed, hoped, and waited through tears. I have seen every moment you placed your trust completely and were hurt in return. But my dear one, do not let those wounds close your heart. When you build walls to protect yourself from pain, you also block the light of my presence. I do not want you to become cold to avoid being hurt. I want you to become strong enough to keep loving. A tender heart in me is not weakness. It is proof of a soul that has been healed. You cannot love without risk, but when you let me guard your heart, nothing can ever destroy you again. My child, lift up your eyes. Do not look at the storm. Look at the one who walks upon the waters. When Peter looked at me, he walked in the impossible, but when he looked at the wind and waves, he began to sink. Your eyes are the same. Where you look will determine whether you stand or fall. Do not look at what seems impossible. Look at the one for whom nothing is impossible. Do not look at the distance. Look at my hand still reaching toward you. I am not asking you to be stronger. I am asking you to look up. When you look up, your heart will rise. When you look up, faith will live again. When you look up, you will realize that I have been right there all along, never leaving you for even a moment. Now raise your hands, not in resistance, but in surrender. Let me carry what you were never meant to bear alone. My child, there are burdens only I can carry, wounds only I can heal, and battles only I can resolve. You do not have to prove you are strong enough to face everything. You only need enough humility to hand it to me. My hands never grow weary, and my shoulders are broad enough for all that weighs on you. Every time you release and let me carry it, your soul becomes lighter, and you will find that peace doesn't come from having fewer burdens, it comes from carrying them with me. My strength is made perfect in your weakness. Do you see, my child, that the moments when you collapse are the very moments I lift you higher than ever before? When you admit you cannot, that is when I begin. When you reach your limit, my grace begins to work. Do not be ashamed of your weakness. It is not failure, but an invitation for my glory to be revealed. You do not need to pretend you are fine. You do not need to wear a mask of strength before me. I do not love you because you are unbreakable. I love you because you are mine. It is in your weakness that I am strong, in your tears that I am near, and in your brokenness that I perform miracles. You do not need to understand everything. I did not call you to know it all, but to trust me through it all. There are things I do not explain because if you understood immediately, you would no longer need faith. Faith is not born from explanation, but from trust. You want to know why, but I want you to learn to say, even so. When you do not understand and still choose to walk forward, that is when you truly love me. And I, the one who leads you, have never led anyone astray. Whether you walk through wilderness or valley, I am holding your hand. Every step you take is mirrored by mine beside you, and when you look back, you will see that it was I who carried you through the very paths you thought you could never cross. You do not have to fix everything broken around you. That is not a burden meant for you to carry. I am the restorer. I am the recreator. You are called only to love, to pray, and to believe that I am working, even when you cannot see it. Do not try to mend the fragments that only I can heal. Do not attempt to patch up what I am trying to make new. When you try to control you, slow down my process. But when you surrender, you will see everything gradually fall back into its rightful place. Let me reach what you cannot touch, for I see the entire picture while you only see a single piece. My child, I have not called you to struggle, but to remain in me. Do not think that submission is weakness. Submission is the strength of the wise, those who know they do not have to strive to be loved. When you remain in me, you remain in the source of peace, of strength, and of life. You will learn to live lightly in a heavy world, to walk steadily in the midst of storms, and to smile even before you see the outcome. Abiding in me is not escaping reality, but living within it with a heart anchored in what is unshakable. My beloved, let me be the place where you rest, the home of your soul. Bring every worry, every fear, every plan to me. You do not need to chase after worth, for your worth has already been established in me. You do not need to look for refuge, for I myself am your refuge. When you are in me, the wind will still blow, and the waves will still rise, but your heart will remain calm like water reflecting the sky. When you are in me, you will no longer have to fight to be accepted, for you are already loved with an unchanging love. My child, I am calling you back to the rhythm of peace, not so that you may stop acting, but that you may act from rest. Not that you may cease fighting, but that you may fight with a quiet heart. You do not need to be strong, you only need to let me be your strength. You do not need to hold everything together, you only need to let me hold you. And when you remain in me, you will understand, peace is not a destination but a path, the path that leads to me, the source of life, the breath, and the everlasting hope of your soul. My beloved child, engrave this truth in your heart. Faith is the shield that protects you against the arrows of doubt in this world. It is not a fleeting feeling, but a steadfast assurance that even when your eyes cannot see, your soul still knows, I am at work. Faith does not demand proof. It is like a flame that burns quietly within, still shining, even when the winds of doubt blow hard. When you lift the shield of faith, you declare that you trust the one who called you to walk. not because you understand everything, but because you know He is faithful. Faith does not spare you from trials, but it helps you stand firm in them. It allows you to see a door of hope where others only see a wall. Obedience is your sword, not blind compliance, but the surrender born of love. Each time you choose to obey, you affirm that you trust my plan more than your own desire. Obedience is not always easy. It requires you to go against the current, to let go of what you love, and at times to embrace solitude. But my child, it is in those moments when you say yes, amid contradiction, that I am writing your victory. The enemy trembles when he sees you still obey, for he knows you no longer live by emotion but by faith. Obedience is the act of true strength, for it proves that you choose trust over control. Worship, my child, is your spiritual battle. It is not merely a song or a melody, but the way you declare that I am greater than every storm, every wound, and every unknown. When you worship in the dark, you make the darkness tremble, for it realizes you have found a light that cannot be extinguished. Every word of praise that leaves your lips in pain becomes an arrow piercing through thick clouds. When you choose to praise instead of complain, you are building an altar in the middle of the desert, and that altar becomes the place where I dwell. True worship does not come when you receive everything you desire, but when you continue to sing even when you have nothing. And my child, it is those very songs that shake the heavens. And love, this is the greatest power I have placed within you. It is the energy of heaven, the flame no force can quench. When you love, you bear my image. When you forgive, you reflect my nature. When you choose love instead of retaliation, you have conquered not only others but also yourself. Love is not weakness. It is the quiet strength that turns enemies into friends and wounds into testimonies. My child, the world may argue with your logic, but it cannot resist the love within you. That love will break chains, heal wounds, and restore what seemed shattered beyond repair. Therefore, my child, keep walking, even when you cannot see the road ahead. The light will not always illuminate the entire path. Sometimes it only shines enough for one step. But that is all you need. Faith does not require you to know the full picture. It only asks that you move toward me. Remember those who trusted in me before you also walked through darkness, yet they always found me at the journey's end. You are not alone. My hand is guiding you through the mist. I do not ask you to be strong. I only ask that you do not stop. Keep walking, for every small step of faith carries weight in my kingdom. Continue to pray, even when your words seem to vanish into silence. Every word you utter, even a sigh, is recorded in heaven. I hear the prayers you cannot speak aloud, the cries within your heart, the tears that soak your pillow. Do not mistake my silence for distance. Sometimes my silence is the deepest form of my work. You pray in the present, but I am arranging your future. Never cease to pray, for prayer is the thread that keeps you connected to me, the current that keeps your heart beating in rhythm with heaven. Every prayer, however faint, shifts the unseen realm, and my child, keep praising even in the storm. Not because the storm has calmed, but because I remain sovereign within it. When you lift your voice in praise amid fear, you are declaring before all creation that your faith is greater than your circumstance. Your praise is the sound that makes hell tremble for it, proves you are no longer living by emotion, but by the certainty of who I am. Sing when you are in pain, give thanks when you are in tears, for that is when you touch the true power of worship. You do not need to understand the storm to praise me. You only need to know that I am in the boat with you. My child, these things are not small. Every prayer, every step of faith, every song sung through pain resounds in the heavens. They are never meaningless. They are the language heaven understands most deeply. Do you know, when you endure in faith, the angels record every small act. When you choose forgiveness over revenge, all of heaven rejoices. When you kneel in quiet surrender, I see, I hear, and I smile. What you consider ordinary are the very keys that unlock doors of blessing. This is how you touch unseen power through visible acts. These faith, obedience, worship, and love are the seeds of a divine harvest. Every small hidden act is a seed sown in good soil. You may not yet see the sprout, but the roots are spreading deep. One day you will stand amazed before a field of blessing where every tear has become fruit and every prayer a miracle. Do not despise the season of sowing, for without it there would never be a season of harvest. My beloved child, know that every word of praise you lift up is shaking the heavens and the earth. That sound does not merely reach my ears, it echoes through the realms above, driving back darkness and breaking chains. When you praise, you create space for me to move. I dwell in the praises of my people, and when you sing even with a broken heart, you are building a throne for me to reign upon in your life. That is the moment when I draw nearest to you, for you have opened the gates of heaven through your faith. Therefore, my child, do not stop. Keep believing when everything around you trembles. Keep obeying when no one understands you. Keep praying when silence seems endless. Keep praising when tears still fall. Keep loving when your heart is wounded. For each of these acts is an act of power, a divine echo of heaven itself, a victory of faith. One day when you stand amid the harvest of glory, you will understand that no tear was wasted, no prayer unheard, no faith meaningless. Everything you did in love has been remembered in my heart, and I, the one who called you, will complete the good work I began until it is perfected in eternal light. My beloved, I know there are days when it feels as if all light within you has gone out. The ground you once trusted feels slippery. Everything you once held on to slips away like sand between your fingers. There are mornings when you wake up feeling nothing but emptiness. There are nights when you lie awake unable to sleep, your heart filled with questions. Lord, where are you in all of this? You feel as though the heavens are locked. Your prayers echo within dark walls and loneliness stretches without end. But know this, my child, nothing in your life happens outside my sovereignty. Even when you cannot feel me, I am there, closer than your breath, present among the fragments of what seems meaningless in your life. Storms come without warning. They strike in the midst of what seemed peaceful while you were busy tending to the smallest of things. They do not ask whether you are ready, nor care if you are weak or strong. They simply come fierce and sudden. But my child, these storms are not meant to destroy you, but to reveal my power. Nothing is random in my design. Even the winds blow by, my command, and the sea roars, only within the limits I set. If I allow the storm to touch your life, it is because I know it will not drown you. It will teach you how to stand firm in me. When you see everything collapsing, remember that I never retreat from battle. I do not abandon you in the whirlwind. I am not silent out of indifference, but because I am teaching you to recognize my voice among 1,000 others. I am training your soul to hear what lies deeper than sound, the heartbeat of my own pulsing with yours. In the shaking, I am not hidden, I am speaking. I am teaching you that true peace is not found in circumstances, but in my presence. When everything you trusted fades away, and only I remain, then you will know that I am the one foundation that can never be shaken. My child, there are times when I allow what you do not desire not to cause you pain, but to separate you from what you thought you needed. Sometimes I must remove temporary supports, so you may learn to cling to the eternal. Sometimes I let you walk through the night, not because I delight in darkness, but because only in the night can you see the true light. Just as a seed must break open in the soil to sprout, your soul too must break, so that something new may be born. Do not fear the breaking, for I am working within it. What you call shattered, I call transformation. I see your tears, every single one of them. They do not fall to the ground, they fall into my hands. I count each tear as a jeweler counts every precious gem. Each time you cry, I am there not only to wipe your tears, but to transform them into seeds of new life. For wherever there are tears, there are seeds of resurrection. I do not waste your pain. I use it as the raw material for something far greater. Just as fierce winds strengthen the tree and fire refines gold, I use trials to mature you, to strip away what is unnecessary, and to make your faith shine like pure crystal. You may not understand everything, but trust me, no storm is ever meaningless. Even when the wind howls the loudest, I am still holding the helm. Every wave obeys my command. You see chaos, but I see order being restored. You see pain, but I see healing being born. You see ruin, but I see a new foundation taking shape. If you could see through my eyes, you would realize that every loss is part of a miracle. Sometimes I must let you face what you fear most, not to make you despair, but to show you that even your greatest fear cannot separate you from my love. You only know me as Redeemer when you truly need redemption. You only know me as Protector when you can no longer protect yourself. It is in weakness that you see my strength. It is in suffering that you discover my kindness is real. So do not resent the storm, for sometimes I use strong winds to clear the path before you. I am present in every shaking, not to frighten you, but to awaken you. I speak through the thunder, yet I also whisper through the gentle breeze. I stir the waters so that you will not fall asleep. I shake the ground so that you will not box your life into small limits. I allow the temporary to tremble so that you may find again what is eternal. Every tremor, if you look through the eyes of faith, is an invitation calling you to draw nearer to me, deeper, truer. My beloved, remember this. Not for a single second have I taken my eyes off you. Even when you fall, I am there, arms open wide. Even when you doubt, I remain patient. Even when you think you are lost, I walk beside you. No wind passes through your life without my knowing its direction. No wound exists without my intention to heal it. You cannot fall out of my hands, for those hands were once pierced by nails to hold you fast. So, my child, when everything around you begins to shake, do not panic. Stand firm in faith and listen. The storm is not only to test you, it is to reveal me. I am the one who calms the wind and waves with a single word. I am the one who walks on water in the very place where you thought only fear could dwell. I am the one who parted the Red Sea, not for my people to stand and watch, but to walk through. If I did that for them, will I not do the same for you, the one I love with an everlasting love? My dear one, I know there are moments when you have no strength left to pray, no words left to say. But even when you exhale, I understand. When you whisper, Lord, help me, all of heaven moves. You do not need perfect prayers. I do not listen with ears, I listen with the heart. Every faint cry from you reaches my throne. And from that throne I am already moving, already turning, already arranging everything for your good. Therefore, my child, do not fear the storm, nor resent the shaking. See them as signs that I am doing something new. When the ground beneath your feet trembles, it is because I am replacing the old foundation with a new one. When the wind sweeps away the things you once leaned on, it is because I want you to lean on me. When the future seems sealed before your eyes, know that I am opening a door you have not yet seen. Every trial is an invitation to step deeper into faith, and every pain is an opportunity for me to reveal my mercy. My beloved child, I am not absent in your afflictions, nor silent in your sorrow. I am there in your tears, in your sighs, in every trembling heartbeat. I am there whispering, do not be afraid. I am with you. And when you dare to believe those words in the middle of the storm, you will discover a miracle, that true peace is not when the wind ceases, but when your heart knows that I still hold the helm. You will not sink, my child, for I am the one who calms the waves, the one who keeps you steady, and the Lord of every storm in your life. My beloved, there are things in this life you will never fully understand, no matter how hard you try. There are questions that will not find answers in this temporary realm, and there are sorrows that cannot be avoided while living in a world wounded by sin. But my child, engrave this truth upon your heart. I am not the source of chaos. I am the redeemer of it. I do not send storms to destroy, but to redeem, not tears to punish, but to cleanse. From the fragments of pain, I can still create something beautiful. From the ruins, I can bring forth hope. For I am the one who makes darkness serve the light and uses suffering to unlock grace. My child, there are things that come to you unplanned, unexpected, never drawn in the dreams you once painted. They come like a blade piercing through your peace, leaving you breathless, broken, and wondering if your soul will shatter. You did not prepare for them, you did not invite them, and surely you never would have chosen them. Yet even in those moments when life strikes your heart with the unforeseen, when you have no strength left to rise, when all you can whisper is, Lord, why I am there. I never leave you, not for a single second. Your pain does not drive me away, it draws me closer. My child, do not let your faith collapse when you do not understand my ways. There are moments when faith is not a burning feeling but a choice, a decision to keep believing even when you cannot feel anything. Faith is not the blazing flame in triumph, but the glowing ember that endures through the darkest night. When you cannot understand the reason, trust my nature. For I am faithful, I am kind, I do not change. What I do may surpass your understanding, but it will never exceed my love for you. Anchor your faith, my child. Faith was not born for the easy days. It was born to hold you firm when everything around you shakes. When you are swept into the whirlpool of the uncontrollable, faith is the anchor that keeps your soul from drifting away. Faith does not stop the storm, but it keeps you standing through it. When every explanation fades, faith remains the answer. Let it take root deeply in me, not in emotion, not in outcome, but in the very essence of the one who never changes. For once your faith is rooted in me, no storm will ever be able to uproot it. My child, let your faith rise like a young shoot breaking through the hardened soil to seek the light. Let it stretch toward me, even when all you can see is a faint glimmer in the distance. Faith does not need to know the path ahead. It only needs to know who is leading the way. I do not need you to understand everything. I only ask that you keep holding my hand and keep walking. When you cannot see me, you can still believe that I see you. When you cannot hear my voice, you can still be certain that I am listening. Faith is not the absence of fear. It is the courage to move forward in spite of fear. My beloved child, I did not create you to be crushed by unexpected storms. You were not born to fall beneath the weight of trials, but to be lifted by my hand. I have placed within you a strength that surpasses pain, the power to rise again. Every time you think you have reached the bottom, I use that very depth as the launching ground for your ascent. I taught the sea to stop at the shore, and I have set boundaries for your trials as well. No wind blows forever, and no night lasts without end. For beyond every storm the sun still waits to shine. My child, I have seen you tremble as everything you trusted crumbled. I have heard your heart weeping, searching for meaning amid the ashes. Yet you do not realize that in that very moment I was building within you a quiet strength, a kind that can only be forged through brokenness. When you are pushed to your limits, that is when you touch my power. When you have nothing left to hold, that is when you learn to hold on to me. And then you will see it is not your resilience that sustains you, but my faithfulness. There are questions, my child, that only eternity can answer. There are wounds that only heaven can fully heal. But I promise you, not a single tear of yours is wasted. I am gathering them to create something beautiful. These years are not lost, they are being redeemed in my hands. One day you will look back and see that everything which seems senseless now fits perfectly into the grand design I have been painting all along. When you feel as though you have lost everything, remember, you still have me, and I am enough. I do not promise to keep you from every storm, but I promise to keep you through every storm. I do not promise that you will never weep, but I promise your tears will never be meaningless. I do not promise you will never be wounded, but I promise your wounds will become testimonies. Each time you are broken, I will remake you, and you will emerge more radiant, stronger, wiser, and filled with greater love. For I am the one who turns brokenness into glory, sorrow into song, and darkness into dawn. My beloved, I know there are pains no words can soothe, but even in silence I am holding you close. When you feel alone, you are not abandoned. When you think I am distant, I am closer than ever. Just close your eyes, take a deep breath, and whisper, "Lord, I trust you." In that whisper, I will pour out my peace upon you. That peace does not promise to change your circumstances, but it will transform you. It will enable you to stand in the fire without being burned, to walk through the storm without sinking. Therefore, my child, do not let your faith break under what you cannot understand. Let it become a tree with roots that reach deep toward my living waters. Let the storm press your roots deeper, not pull them out. Let your tears become the stream that nourishes your faith. Let adversity teach you how to trust in grace. For when you have nothing left to cling to, you will find that I am everything you need. My beloved child, I did not create you to be crushed, but to be upheld in my hands. You were born to overcome, not in the way the world defines victory, but through faith, the kind of faith that keeps you standing when the winds are against you, that allows you to smile while tears still rest upon your cheeks, and that helps. You sing while darkness still lingers. That is true faith, not because you are strong, but because you know that the one within you is greater than everything outside of you. And when you rise from the ruins with your faith still intact, all of heaven will rejoice, for I, the one who began the good work within you, will surely bring it to completion in eternal glory. My beloved, you were never created to understand everything. Life was not designed for you to grasp every answer, for if you knew it all, you would have no need to trust. I did not form you to control, but to believe. Your journey is not a quest for omniscience, but a walk with the Almighty. You were created not to lean on your own understanding, but to rest in my faithfulness. Every step you take does not require you to see the entire path ahead, only to hold my hand and keep walking forward. You were never meant to control every outcome, for only I see the full story. I behold the beginning and the end, and I am working through every chapter in between. When you try to take command of it all, you will only find yourself weary because you are carrying a weight you were never meant to bear. But when you learn to surrender, you will discover freedom. For when you place control in my hands, you do not lose your life, you find true peace. Surrender is not defeat. It is acknowledgement that I know the way better than you. And my child, that is where miracles begin, when you place your trembling hand into mine and say, "Lord, I trust you more than I trust myself." There are moments when bad news strikes like thunder in a clear sky. One word, one event, one message, and the world you knew collapses. There are mornings when you wake to find that nothing remains the same. Betrayal cuts deeper than any blade loss, leaves the soul hollow, and diagnoses weigh down your very breath. You try to stay calm, yet a storm rages inside. You want to believe, yet your faith seems to melt under the heat of reality. I see it all, my child. I see the moment your heart cracks, the weariness in your eyes, the trembling of your hands as you try to hold on to what is slipping away. But remember this, even when your world falls apart, I do not change. I am still who I am, the one who remains unmoved amid all that shifts. My love does not waver with circumstance, nor does my mercy fade with time. When fear rises to swallow you, I remain your steadfast fortress. When loneliness wraps around you, I am your faithful companion. When you lose your way, I am the light that guides you. When you fall, I am the hand that lifts you up. You may doubt, You may falter, you may despair, but I remain. I am the unchanging, one still holding all things within the power of my hand. Do not measure my faithfulness by your feelings, my child. Feelings are like waves, but I am the ocean. The waves may rise or fall, yet the ocean remains vast, deep, and unmoved in its essence. There will be days when your faith feels like a flickering candle in the wind, trembling, fragile, and small. But I do not ask you to be strong at all times. I only ask that you do not extinguish that light. However small it is, enough to lead you back to me. And when you cannot stand, let faith become your breath. For as long as you breathe, faith still lives. Do not define my love by your present pain. Pain is not proof of my absence. At times, it is the evidence of my work within you. I love you enough not to let you stay in your comfort zone. I love you enough to let you walk through the fire, because I know the fire will not consume you, it will refine you. I love you enough to remove from you the things you cling to, but that are destroying you. You think I am taking away, but I am setting you free. You think I am silent, but I am preparing an answer far greater than what you have asked for. My child, remember this: what you feel is real, but it is not the ultimate truth. Emotions are only a temporary picture of a moment, but my truth is eternal. Feelings may say, it's over, but truth says, I am still at work. Feelings may say, you've been abandoned, but truth says, I am right here. Feelings may say, you have nothing left, but truth says, you still have me, and I am enough. When you learn to trust my truth above your feelings, you will step into a peace that the world cannot touch. Beloved child, faith is not the absence of doubt. It is the choice to believe in the midst of doubt. Faith does not erase fear. It places it beneath the cross. Faith does not deny reality. It sees beyond it, recognizing my hand at work within it. When you believe through tears, that is true faith. When you believe through pain, that is refined faith. When you believe through loss, that is the kind of faith that makes heaven tremble. My child, let me remind you again, I am still with you. Not a single breath you take is without meaning, and not a single step you walk is alone. When you cannot see me, I am still covering you with the wings of love. When you cannot hear me, I am still whispering through the wind. Do not fear, I am here. When you think you are falling, it is my hands, those once pierced by nails, that are holding you up. You are not forgotten. You are not forsaken. You are not abandoned among ruins. You belong to me, and nothing can separate you from my love. Beloved, one life does not require you to know everything. It only asks that you walk with me day by day, breath by breath, decision by decision. Do not be afraid when you have no answers, for it is in those empty spaces that I will fill you with my presence. Do not be afraid when you do not know the future, for I am already standing in it waiting for you. Do not be afraid when you feel weak, for my strength is made perfect in your weakness. You do not have to be enough. You only need to remain in me, and I will do the rest. Let your soul rest in this truth: I still hold everything in my hands. Not a single detail of your life is beyond my plan. There is no wound I cannot turn into beauty. No tear I cannot transform into a river of blessing. I know you are weary, but trust me. My child, I am turning every ruin into a foundation for something new, every sorrow into a doorway to life. My child, keep your heart still and know that I am God. Even when you do not know the way, I am the way. Even when you do not see the light, I am the light. Even when you do not understand the plan, I am the plan. And even when you feel you have nothing left to hold on to, know that I am your refuge. Let your soul rest in my hands, for I have never failed you, never forgotten you, never forsaken you, and I never will. My beloved one, what you thought was lost, I will not only restore, but renew, deepen, enrich, and perfect beyond measure. I am not merely bringing back the old, I am transforming you into someone new. For true blessing is not found in regaining what was gone, but in becoming who you are meant to be after the journey. When you step out of the storm, you will not be the same. You will carry wisdom refined by fire, compassion, learned through pain, endurance formed in tears, and a faith that cannot be shaken. My beloved child, I will grant you wisdom, not the kind accumulated through books, but the kind etched by experience and carved by grace. This wisdom will teach you to see what I see, to hear what I say, and to discern what I am doing amid the chaos of life. It will help you know when to stay silent and when to speak, when to wait and when to act. I will cause your heart to remain steady when storms arise, for you will know that every storm has its boundary and serves a purpose I have ordained. You will no longer seek the counsel of man before mine, for you will have learned to listen to my voice in stillness. And my child, I will grant you compassion, for only those who have been wounded truly know how to love. Only those who have walked through the night understand how to comfort others in darkness. When I heal you, you will become an instrument of healing for others. Your heart will be softened, not closed out of fear of being hurt, but open to embrace souls in need of encouragement. You will look upon the suffering without judgment, for you have known what it means to suffer. You will not say, "Be strong," but rather, "I know and I am with you." That compassion will make you more like me, for I am the one who is moved with mercy. I will also give you maturity. Not age or knowledge makes one mature, but the wounds that have been healed, the lessons not run away from, and the seasons you have walked through faithfully. That maturity will teach you to respond not by emotion but by faith. You will know that sometimes silence is victory and forgiveness is strength. You will learn that not every battle must be fought and not every accusation must be answered. You will walk with the calm assurance of one who knows they are loved, chosen, and protected. And my child, I will grant you authority, not the authority of reputation, but the authority of a soul refined by fire. Every trial you overcome, every wound you endure, every tear you offer, me will be transformed into spiritual strength. When you speak, your words will carry weight, for they are born from the depth of truth. When you pray, heaven will move, for you will not pray out of fear but conviction. You will step into places where darkness reigns, and your very presence will bring forth light, for authority does not come from position, but from souls who have been saved, taught, shaped, and sent by me. Then I will make your life a living testimony. When others look at you, they will not say, "What a strong person," but rather, "Only God could have done that." They will see in you something beyond human strength, a peace that cannot be explained, a joy not bound to circumstance, a resilience that cannot be broken. They will ask, "How did you stand after so much loss?" And you will smile and say, "Because the grace of God is enough for me." In that moment you will understand that everything you endured was never in vain. Therefore, my child, do not hide your scars. They are not marks of shame, but evidence of salvation. Each scar is a story of my faithfulness, of grace, of mercy, of strength beyond human capacity. Let those scars tell of the journey I have walked with you, of where you fell and where I lifted you up. Do not fear when others see the imprints on your soul, for they are proof that you have fought, lived, and overcome. The scars no longer hurt, but they remain as lamps reminding you, God was there and He is still here. My child, your scars are not failures. They are the medals of the survivor. They are proof that the enemy could not destroy you. Every blow he struck was dissolved in my hands. He sought to shatter your faith, yet it grew deeper. He tried to steal your hope, yet you discovered that true hope is not in what you see, but in the one you trust. He wanted to make you resent me, but in your pain you clung to me tighter than ever. He wanted you to fall, but I used the fall to teach you how to rise. He wanted to silence you, but I have given you a voice powerful enough to awaken even the most despairing souls. My beloved child, do you see it now? What the enemy intended to use to break you, I am using to build you. He tried to steal your strength, but I have turned you into a source of strength for others. He sought to plant fear in your heart, but I have sown faith there instead. He wanted to sow confusion, but I have poured out peace. He tried to make you doubt me, but I have caused you to understand that I am still faithful, still present, and still unchanging in my love. My child, believe that no pain is ever wasted. I never allow a wound to come without a purpose. Every tear, every seemingly hopeless night I am gathering in my hands. One day when you look back, you will see that those very days of darkness became the solid foundation of your faith today. It is through the valley of tears that you learned how to lead others to the fountain of life. It is through your own brokenness that you came to know what true restoration means. Beloved one, I am not merely restoring what you have lost. I am transforming you, making you deeper, stronger, wiser, and more like me. You will no longer be one who simply survives, but one who lives with divine purpose. You will no longer tremble when storms arise, because you know that the one who brought you through before will do it again. And when others see the light in your eyes, they will know that you have walked through the fire and were not consumed, for my hand was with you in every flame. Therefore, my child, lift up your head. Walk forward with gratitude, for every scar is a testimony. Live with courage, for every step you take is proof that grace is still at work. Sing even when your voice trembles. Praise even when your tears have not yet dried. For each time you do, the darkness retreats a little more. And I, the one who has called you, healed you, and protected you, will continue to walk beside you until all who see your life declare, only God could have done this. Thank you for listening to today's message. Subscribe and turn on the notification bell so we can continue to receive the living words together, build an unshakable faith, and walk in the boundless love of God. Amen.